Hey everyone, Jerry here and welcome back to OpenTTD. Last time we set up a brand new online here going out in... Fuck that. Hey everyone, Jerry here and welcome back to OpenTTD. Last time we set up a brand new online here which goes out in the middle of fucking nowhere, all the way up to our track here, connects for a little bit, then continues up to this oil refinery in the other end of nowhere. Now, this is a very long track and it's gonna take ages for these trains to actually get through, so I'm gonna put in one more train here before we leave this. As soon as I can afford it, at least. Now, let's just check, since I'm not making money at the moment. Is there anything stuck over here? Nope. Okay, so nothing's stuck, it's just being very slow. Oh well. Now we got money, yes, excellent. Now we can clone this train. There we go. Right, close all this off and then this should get started on making money for us. Now, since last time I've actually received a request for something to do. This request comes from all the way from Australia, from a guy who I guess calls himself Katzenswans, which I'm not gonna translate into English because that's just disgusting. But what I will do, however, is fulfill his request. Basically, he asked, I've been enjoying your OpenTTD play with. I would like to see you work on a profitable bus service. With subsidy I can make profit off of it, but without subs it goes downhill fast. And yeah, buses have the issue that if we look at the goods graph, I can find it here, cargo payment rates, and we remove everything but passengers. Now these buttons are very small, so they're kind of hard to click. Anyway, as you can see, passengers, you want to deliver them within about 55 days in transit, because the curve kind of breaks here. So whereas if you can do it within those 50 days, then you get the most per unit. Buses have the disadvantage of being not only slow, but they're also tiny capacity, so that you don't actually get a lot of stuff out of every single bus you do. Now, the main thing about buses really is getting the passengers to actually come to your stations. And for this, I think I'm gonna go with these two towns here because first of all, they have a nice distance from each other in terms of a vehicle route, and also it's a very straight line, so that you don't have to have your buses turning all the time. One thing that a lot of people do wrong with buses is that they tend to make them within the same town or within very closely neighboring towns, and that's just a bad idea because the distance traveled becomes very tiny. As you saw in the well, as I've mentioned before, a general rule of thumb in this game is that the longer you transport stuff, the more valuable it gets. So we're not gonna take two very close towns, we're gonna split it out here for a bit. I'm gonna make as few turns on this road as I can because vehicles don't really like turning that close in town. And I'm just quickly gonna make this look neat. There we go. Now, we would have potentially have the option of making this a double road and then having one-way roads. This would allow, in cases of we have a lot of vehicles and they all break down at the same time, traffic wouldn't stop. However, I don't recall this as being a big issue at the moment, even though breakdowns are bound to happen a lot. Anyway, as you can see here, we have a nice little circle that can go around here, so we don't have to, so they can stand on both sides of these lovely little bus stops here. These are in no way better. They can only contain two vehicles, whereas these can have four. These are easier to for the buses to get away from again. So if we can just put these right here in the middle, then that's gonna be much preferable. Now we want the buses to go around this, so we want to put it over here. There we go. In terms of depots, well, vehicles don't actually slow down as much as trains do in terms of getting to a depot, so I'm just gonna still have a parallel set here, just in case. It shouldn't affect much whatsoever, but it's a nice precaution to have. There we go. And depots here. Now, in terms of actually getting some buses going here, we only have these shitty ones here that are very slow. But we're gonna have to deal with that. Now, full load, I'm gonna say, is still a must, especially when you're going for a route this long. When you're doing within the same town, which there are reasons to do. For instance, if you want to grow a town quickly, then it's a matter of having as many vehicles and such stopping in the town. So just having a couple of buses going around in a circle is a pretty good way to do it. Okay, so let's see, this one starts in Princeton, and then it should go to one depot, hopefully after this, so I'll send it to this one. And then we're gonna clone this vehicle. We can't even do that, we don't have money. Okay, let's just send this one off then and actually start. Now, hopefully there should be some money incoming soon. So if we go over here and we clone this vehicle here, and then we go to its orders and say skip to the next one, then it should start out by going over here to this town, so we at least have both stations activated, so that they'll start giving out passengers. See if we can open this one here. This one isn't activated yet because nothing has stopped here. Okay, now you can see this one already has enough passengers to fill another bus. So we're just gonna start cloning this guy here. Now the main thing about transporting with buses, as I thought I mentioned at least, is that you need a large amount of them. If you want your towns to actually appreciate your bus service, you need to have enough of them to actually pick up more or less all the passengers they're producing. As you can see, both of these are already full, and there are nearly enough passengers for another bus going here. So let's just clone one. And then eventually we'll reach one point where the capacity is reached. So let's see, over here we have skip and go. And let's clone it one more time. Skip and go. Okay. Now the reason I tell the buses to manually go to a depot as well is to avoid them to try and prevent them breaking down. Although that doesn't really help much apparently. Gotta love the timing of this game. This one's full of passengers. Okay. Now I still think this one is the one that's gonna arrive first and actually start making some money for us. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, as you can see by now, we have 150 passengers already on this station here waiting. We have half that over here waiting. So we're nowhere near the capacity of buses needed yet. Oh, we can actually borrow more money now. Although I'm not gonna do that. Let's quickly speed this up just a short second here. And he's docking, delivering his goods. There we go. 1500, nearly, from every trip here. Now this is already promising to be a pretty profitable route because these, we can just deliver like once a year, then at least the buses will pay for themselves, I think. See, yearly running costs, yeah, 700 something a year. So basically, if they can deliver once every 2 years, then the buses will start making profit. But because we have so many passengers on both sides here, we can actually start expanding with a bunch more buses and hopefully end up having a lot more money from this coming. Now, there are other ways to use buses. One of the more popular ones is to use them to kind of bring more passengers into an airfield or an airport. Like for instance, if you can't place an airport sufficiently close to the town, then you can place a like over here, for instance. We could build an airport out here, but it wouldn't reach much of the town. What we then could do is have a bus station over here picking up passengers, and then dropping them off at the airport for further transit. Now the bus itself will not be profitable, but the amount of passengers it'll bring to the airport will be enough to kind of counter the cost of the bus. But that's something you'll have to like be aware of in your yearly. I did not want to do that. Whenever the budget comes in, that you if you're losing money on a bus, that might be because it's just a transit bus. Now I could also have made a route between these two towns, but they're just too close for my liking in terms of making money. So I think this one over here will suffice nicely. As you can see, the town grows every 100 days now because we started delivering stuff in them. Last month we got 83 out of 222, so we're nowhere near the amount of buses we need to actually move all these passengers. And as you can see, most of them are actually just centered out here in the middle of the... and they're all breaking down. And they're all breaking down right here in the corner. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if is there a way to... I wonder if there's a way to, no, that's not what I want to do. Can I remove this group again? No. I wonder if there's a way to like, for all the vehicles, reduce the time between services. But it doesn't look like it. Anyway, we need more vehicles here. And this one's actually getting smaller for some reason. Ah well. Now this town here would also be a prime example of using it for ships, but since there's nowhere we can actually ship stuff except for over here, then that's probably not the best idea. Okay, so let's actually see how these oil trains are doing. There's one here who's had a slowdown, I think. Must have broken down. There's one here who has just delivered and profit this year about 60,000. That's pretty good, although he keeps breaking down. And there's one here who's just picked up stuff. Now there's still a bunch of oil here ready to be picked up, but we can't afford another train yet. This one's it's somewhat happy. I mean, the production has fallen, which is not that good. But hopefully it'll start catching up again, especially if we get an extra train in there. We just can't afford it yet, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Now up here, this town here, the town is not growing. That's sad. But we do have the bank here. I saw that there was one other bank being built somewhere. So there's Buntingford, and then there's all the way down. Okay, there's actually like 5 or 6 banks in the game. Now this one, that one, and that one are actually they're not that bad in terms of distance or production. I'm just gonna see if I can. Yeah, it will. Now, I would like to actually get into some aircraft as well, but I need some more space here for that. And I most definitely need more money to, and they won't even allow me to. That's fantastic. Okay, so if we are to transport valuables from here, we need to use the train station. Now, connecting to this one is going to be quite inconvenient unless we connect it over here, because the the road that it's gonna take is gonna be like very broad, so the amount of money will be significantly less. There's a bank down here in this city town here which refuses to deal with me. And how are you managing to turn the wrong way? I don't get it. All these tracks are one way only. How are you managing to turn around in the station? What's your order say? Okay, there's something gone wrong with the order for this one, so if we tell it to go to this depot here. Actually, that's a bad thing because it wants it wants to go up there, so that it can definitely go that way. So if we tell it to go to the depot here, and then up here and unload all. Everything breaking down. I need some better engines, or I need to tell them all to default to service more often. Can I do that in the options actually? Not in these at least. Advanced settings. Routing, servicing. Default service interval. 120 days road. Yeah, let's set it down a bit. Okay, I don't know if that's actually gonna change all the trains that we already have. No, probably not. Okay, so that means after this recording's done, I'll go through all our trains and vehicles and actually set the servicing a bit down so they go to service a bit more often. Hopefully that'll get the reliability up. Now, the other goods train here, just checking if there's nothing wrong with the orders here. No, it seems to be fine there. Okay. There's a lot of goods here not being transferred away with the road vehicles. And they're not really making a lot of money because it's so close that they're transporting it. So I actually think I will also end up moving these road vehicles to transport over somewhere like here. Just so they actually start making some money, because at the moment, if we look at this profit last year, 1,500 something, these buses are already doing about 3,000 or 4,000 each. And that's just this year, because we just started building them. So these buses are definitely earning a lot more money for us than the other road vehicles. And that's mainly due to the distance and the fact that they can go here rather uninterrupted. But they, of course, yeah, they keep breaking down. Let's get a couple more of these going. There we go. Oil rigs, nice. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, I haven't actually seen this before. Anyway, this is quite a nice view. You can see oil rigs here, they accept passengers, so oil comes in from the oil rig and it goes to the oil refinery. Passengers come in from both the oil rig and from houses, and they can go either way. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, once this is done, I actually think we will somehow connect it to our oil refinery up here with a nice little ship. Make a channel in here somewhere. See if we can get close enough to actually have ships deliver oil here. And then we might look into setting up some sort of a helicopter service to bring passengers out there. If we can't get it to here, then we'll bring it over here because that's a lot closer to the coast. Where did that other oil rig start building? Oh, there. Ah, okay. Excellent. So yeah, Next episode is gonna be ships. I'll see you then. I'm Jerry, and this is OpenTTD.